Hey, what's going on? This is Ricardo with the Code 7 Podcast Network, and we are about to get ready for round 20 of the Dispatchers Roundtable. But as always, a word from our sponsors.
At InDigital, we know the public safety professionals hold themselves to a high standard. In fact, standard doesn't do it justice. In over 25 years working alongside you, carrying millions of calls over our IP networks, your dedication has inspired us. That's why our ESI net goes beyond industry standards, not only I3 compliant, but designed to adapt to future development for a network you can count on when it matters most. Learn more at indigital.net.
Rapid Deploy believes that every public safety agency, regardless of size, should have access to the data they need when it matters most. That's why since 2016, our mission has been to reduce emergency response times and improve public safety. We are the industry's only integrated emergency response platform. Our web-based cloud platform includes analytics, mapping, dispatch, and mobile apps, purpose-built for 911 in the 21st century. Visit www.rapiddeploy.com to learn how we enable effective, efficient, data-driven emergency response.
If Within the Trenches has ever taught you something, open your eyes to what it is like to be a 911 dispatcher, or has inspired you to become one, then help support us and join our Patreon. Get exclusive bonus content, one-of-a-kind swag, discounts on merchandise, ad-free early access to new episodes, and much more. To join, please visit patreon.com/WTT podcast. And if you're an industry partner, we have something for you as well. And now, for the show.
This is Jordan, and you're listening to the Code 7 Podcast Network.
Warning. This episode contains the 3 A's of podcasting: adult content, adult language, and awesomeness. You've been warned.
All right, welcome back. Once again, Ricardo with the Code 7 Podcast Network. This episode is going to be sponsored by InDigital as well as Rapid Deploy. Thank you all for joining us here tonight. It's been a little while since the last roundtable. That was round 19, and yeah, that was about a month or so ago. I try to do the roundtable twice a month. There's a lot of shit going on, so trying to keep up with it as the best I can. We are getting closer and closer to the final Dare to Be Great conference. That's going to be next week. That'll be next week, the 7th through the 10th. And it is going to be excellent. You do not want to miss it. Make sure to check it out. You can go to withinthetrenches.net/conference, and you can register for Dare to Be Great 3. There are 47 sessions that are going to be going on over those 4 days. You've got pre-con, then you've got day 1, day 2, and day 3, and some excellent keynote speakers. We have Congresswoman Norma Torres, as well as Sarah Weston and Ernie Stevens. And man, the amount of people who are going to be there that are just busting out all of this awesome continuing education and doing it for free as well. For free for all of you to be able to come on. The registration there, it is going to be excellent. Again, I'm excited. It's the last one, though. It has been an amazing experience. So thank you all so very much for the support. It was a year ago, a couple months ago that we did that first one, and it just smashed any expectation that I ever thought was going to come of it. I was thinking, well, we'll get about like 500 people. It'll be good. We'll get about 500 people, and they'll be able to get all this awesome sessions, everything that's going to be, everyone's going to be speaking there, all in one spot. And also, those who don't usually get a chance to go to the in-person conferences, they'll be able to do this. And there ended up being, I think, about 7,000 attendees and people from around the world. And then the second one just added to that. And, there's over 9,000 now total for both Dare to Be Great conferences. And it has just, again, been an amazing experience. So thank you all for the support. We've got an excellent round tonight. and it's going to be fun. We're going to be talking about the benefits of yoga as well as the 91108 challenge. So I want to bring my guests on, and so they can give a little intro and everything. And my guests are going to be Olivia, Eric, and Brenna, and they are with Yoga for First Responders. So I'm going to be bringing up their windows here. And as you're watching this, please make sure to share this broadcast on your feed to your favorite page, and throw in some reactions as well. And I thank you so very much. So here we go. Hey.
Hi.
Welcome back.
Welcome. I'm happy to be with you here. It's fun to have these conversations.
Yeah, and it seems like whenever we get started, we just go and we go and we go, and it's just always an excellent conversation. I'm going to bring everyone up here. So everyone, this is Olivia, and I'm going to be pulling up Eric, and then I'll give you, each one of you, a chance to give a little intro. So here we go, bringing on Eric and Brenna. All right, excellent. It is awesome to have the three of you here, and as always, I got the right button here. We're going to start with our intro now that I have all three of you on here. Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, welcome to the Dispatchers Roundtable. All right. Man, I love that tune. That is such a good one.
You've got good intro music. I like it.
I try, dude. I try. I enjoy putting this stuff together. Yeah, that's right. Just time to get down, bob and weave, and talk about some yoga, yo. So I'm excited again to have the three of you on here. And Olivia, if we can start with you, give a little information on you, your background, and of course, a refresher on Yoga for First Responders, please.
Yes, so I am the founder and CEO of Yoga for First Responders, which is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. I have been teaching yoga for 18 years at this point, which is nuts. I mean, I started when I was 2 years old, so
that's pretty good. Well done.
Yeah, I was very, very talented. But anyway, yes, I started this. I saw a need. I saw an educational gap in public safety training. So many statistics in military and public safety of burnout, of post-traumatic stress, of stress-based physical health issues, mental health issues. And then here I am knowing this tool that is built to strengthen the mind, the body, and the nervous system. So to me, it seemed like a perfect fit. And I figured out how to get them to fit together. And what I mean by that is it's what you will find with Yoga for First Responders might be different than what you see at a community yoga studio. We're more job specific. We're more culturally informed. And I think that's what has made us successful. So from what was me volunteering twice a week at the Los Angeles Fire Department now became a national organization where we're reaching thousands of first responders and military every year. And I was a team of one, and now I have a bigger team, including these two fine folks with us today.
Excellent. Brenna, we can hear from you, please.
Yes, my name is Brenna Vidal, and I am the development director for Yoga Shield, Yoga for First Responders. I have a background working in child welfare, and my husband's a firefighter, and that's kind of what brought me into working for YFFR. I have a background in psychology and social work, so I've been working in the nonprofit sector for about 5 years, and I really have enjoyed the time coming on as development director. So I work with the partnerships, grants, funding, foundations, campaigns, which we'll get into a little bit more later on today, but I'm the one who tries to help us provide our services to first responders and military at no cost, or a cost that they can afford to get the services.
Awesome. Excellent. Well, welcome. I've had Olivia and Eric on before, and it's awesome to have you here as well.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
And last but certainly not least, Eric, what's going on, man?
Hey, Ricardo. I'm the troublemaker of the group. I've got Facebook pulled up over on window number 2 over there, so I can be in the comments section down in that mess with those folks, so we can play along. So I was a firefighter for 13 years in the Midwest prior to working with Yoga for First Responders. I am the chief financial officer for the organization now. In a volunteer status, actually. I actually have another full-time job, but do this as a part-time volunteer status. Just got my 200-hour yoga certification. And to be honest, folks, the first yoga class I ever took was about, what did we figure out just the other day? 4 years ago.
4 years ago, 2 days ago was 4 years ago. Yeah.
So I am 4 days and 4 years and 2 days into my yoga career and just got my yoga 200 hours certification. So have been teaching with YFFR, traveling the world for doing this for about 2 years now. So fun stuff.
Nice, man. Well done. 200 hours. It sounds like
It
a
was
lot
fun.
of work, but good work.
Yeah, no, it was definitely good to expand the knowledge base. I mean, I come at it from the tactical side, from the fire service and from first responders. And so it was good to learn a little bit more of the yoga background, the yoga philosophy behind it. So it was a good experience.
Excellent. Now, I put a question into the comments for everyone who is on here, who's watching right now, to see how many people out there actually, if they practice yoga. I know there's some that do. I do as well, not as much as I should be. Got a lot of
All
stuff
of us,
going on.
same story for all of us.
Right. Yeah. It was a lot of fun. If for those who are watching right now, and we're going to talk about this more towards the end of this conversation, but I did a bunch of videos. I did 8 different videos, and one of them I had to do a couple times because. So I'm watching Eric. I'm watching you do this one, and I put my head up, and I felt like I did it. I was going too far up, and it was funny because I stopped, and I told my daughter Lola, I said, hit stop really quick, and she goes, "Did you mess up?" And I said, "I think I did." I said, "I think I was putting my head like too far back," and she goes, "Yeah, it's pretty far. It's further than he was." So, but it was good though, because I had Olivia had you were doing the voiceover and I was listening, so I was playing the video as I'm doing it, but I watched them a couple times first and then did it, and then even a couple of those times I was like, no, I got to go back, like it didn't feel right, I got to go back and do it again. But it was awesome to be able to do those, so thank you for the opportunity to do them, because these videos are going to help a lot of people as well, those who are in the chair, that are there for either 8 hours, 12 hours, sometimes 16, 18 hours, working in dispatch. And these, I wish I knew a lot of this stuff when I was in dispatch as well. I got into yoga later on towards the end of my dispatching career, but damn it, if I would have had some of that stuff, I'm pretty sure that I wouldn't have some of the issues that I have now, especially like around this area. I would have been able to stay stretched out a little more,
You don't know how many times we hear that I wish I had this at the beginning of my career. That is said so often. And one of our values is to be a proactive resource versus a reactive tool, right? And so if we can really, if someone could start applying these principles of yoga and the training. So we really refer to yoga as training. I know commonly it's the yoga practice, which we still say, but we like to call it training. So there's an understanding that it's not separate from other training you do for the job. It's the training for high performance and for long-term sustainability. And I think the reason that people don't think of it at first to be proactive is when you're starting your career, you feel fine. You don't feel like you're going to need that. And so, but what you are worried about is, oh my God, I'm going to need to know, give me a dispatch lingo here. You need to know what? Streets?
Look like, yeah, street, cross streets.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's what you're worried about, but you're not really thinking like, oh, maybe I should do something to keep myself in this job and protect myself. And I did see what Michelle said here about practicing several times a week and completing her 200-hour, which is fantastic. And I actually have a question for her too. When you practice several times a week, how long are your yoga practices? And the reason I'm asking is there is sort of this misunderstanding that a yoga practice is going to a studio for 90 minutes and all this stuff. For me to get my yoga practice in consistently, I probably do max 40 minutes, typically probably 20 minutes or 30 minutes, but I'm doing something consistently. So when you see, I practice several times weekly, just don't think you're like, I don't have the time for that because I don't have 90 minutes, 7 days a week. And this was the point of making those videos for you too, is that we're showing you something you can do in your pod at work that can process a little bit of stress and really regulate you. It's not just for after your shift, it's for throughout your shift. Yoga is not something else to do. It's how you do everything else. So yeah.
No, and so see, we've got okay, Eric, I see that you answered over here too. Okay, good. Excellent.
I told you I'm the troublemaker in the comments. I'm in the cesspool of the comments.
This is good.
I was literally about to go answer that, and I saw you come up. I was like,
well, now that you two are in the comments, I'm going to stay out of the comments and let you guys handle it and just be the chatterbox up here like I usually am.
No, this is good to be able to answer as well, all that stuff there. But yeah, there will be some times where I'll get up in the morning, and I was doing this every single day, but for whatever reason, I was getting up at like 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, and no matter what time, that's the time I was getting up. Like no matter what time I crashed out, I was waking up at that time. Now it's 6:30 that I'm getting up. I don't know. It's an hour later. I'm not sure. But what I was doing was I would do a 9-minute. It's like leg stretches, really. It's leg stretches, but also kind of doing some twists for the back, for the spine, and then another 9-minute. I think it was 8.5, 9-minute one where it's mostly like arms, and then breathing work as well. So I would do these every morning, and then I would do them at night as well, right before I crashed out. And I don't know, it's hard to explain, but I was able to sleep a lot better.
Sure. You're processing the stress out by moving the body, by breathing and moving at the same time, and you're putting yourself in a recovery mode. So by waking up, you're getting yourself focused. By doing it to go to sleep, you're recovering from the day. And that model, actually on our app, I do have 2 videos, one to wake up to and one before sleep or to go to sleep, for that exact reason. And it's super easy for anyone to take advantage of those.
The on the other side of that as well, when we finished our meeting earlier today, I had about 30 or so minutes in between. And for my birthday recently, I got an Oculus Quest 2. Yeah. So I threw that thing on. I played like 20 minutes of Beat Saber. So that kind of helped me, I don't know, get my mind straight as well. But
sure, I'll consider that funny. Yoga too.
We go back and forth on different types of things, but a lot of that breath work also helped. Later on in dispatch, during calls, it was able to keep myself calm. And I know I've said this before, but I'll say it again for those who are joining that have not heard this. It was easier for me to remain in focus and in calm during some of those calls, because man, we're listening to some crazy shit and everything that is going on. And you have to, you are the one who's there focused for the person who's on the phone, but also those who are going out there, the field responders and such. So if there's a way to, keep yourself calm while everything is going on, that's the way to do it. It's the breath work. It really does something.
Mm-hmm. It's now, the golden.
I was going to say the tactical breath work is the golden key. It's the crux of everything that we do. And in fact, the yoga positions are just training us to breathe under stress. And so that's the real heart of the issue, is getting our mind and our breathing accurate. And I see somebody in the comment section, they don't breathe enough. And I'd argue that we as human beings have quite frankly forgotten how to breathe correctly. And so we have to train for it.
We breathe just enough to stay alive, but the breath is this like super, it has all this depth of possibility. It's how we access the subtle body that we think we can't access, our nervous system, our brain. It's through the portal of the breath. So yeah, the breath is there to keep you alive, and we all are just breathing enough for that, not making use of this amazing tool we have for self-control.
Right. And how crazy is that? It seems very easy, right? But then, you've got one of these and your watch tells you, hey, you need to breathe. I'm like, oh, my bad. I thought I was breathing.
No, and that's the power of the wearables that we have nowadays, is that a lot of this stuff couldn't be measured before just because we didn't have the technology. And so then we kind of get away from doing it correctly. But now that we've got the wearables and the technology is coming in from biofeedback machines, we can actually study this stuff, and neuroscientists are, and proving that breathing can absolutely impact your mind and body just the same way as any other exercise does. And so, yeah, the breath work is critical, man. And as a first responder, as a firefighter myself, I mean, when I was a company officer, it was a lot of times it was a stop, take a breath, unscrew yourself. We used a little bit more colorful language than that, and then get back to work. But we were already teaching each other that regulation technique without even realizing it, is that stop, take a breath, get your shit together, and get back to work.
That makes sense, man. Now, Brenna, what about you? What everything that you do, breath work for you, like how important is that in some of the stuff that you do as well? I know that you have returned from, it was some instructor schooling and stuff that you did recently, right?
I was at our recent instructor school. I was a squad leader. It was my first time there as a trainer and not the trainee. But I mean, even just being in that position, it was, you can ask them, like I was studying until like the night before at like midnight, trying to make sure I had everything right and I knew all the right words to say. But even then, like the breath work that we do, keeping us focused in the task at hand. We have a specific training that we do on, we call it Tac Skills Day, where usually we use a blast mask to teach the trainees how to breathe appropriately. But we've been doing a blindfold because of COVID regulations. So everyone has to go blindfold. And that was something that I really had to watch my breath and not slack off, because I was essentially the eyes for everyone. So, which kind of gave me a lot of insight into communicating with like a dispatcher and a first responder on the scene. Like I had to tell them exactly what to do and what to turn, and, don't go there, go here, because one person can't see and they're in a stressful situation. And then I'm managing 8 of them, trying to get them through the stressful situation. So maintaining my breath is just as important as reminding them to maintain theirs. So that was my most recent experience with it.
That is excellent. So what are some benefits of yoga? I know we kind of touched on a little bit, but as the audience is, a lot of them actually from the general public, but mostly from from dispatch and all. What are some of the benefits of yoga for those who are answering calls in the chair?
I think that there is, the common understanding of yoga is that it's a physical practice for the physical benefits. And so those who may not have physicality as a job requirement may then assume, okay, yoga is not for me or will benefit me, which is sometimes what we get from dispatchers, maybe not totally, consciously, but sort of the subconscious understanding of it. There are physical benefits to yoga, increased functional mobility, and that's because we are working on processing stress hormones out of the connective tissue, strengthening small stabilizing muscles around joints. That helps with injury prevention. Yes, there are a lot of physical benefits. And you notice I said processing stress hormones, and that leads to the functional mobility. Processing stress hormones is important for the nervous system. It's sort of like the functional mobility that happens is a nice result of that. So the physical aspect I really look at as the training vehicle, right? To train under stress, and also as a way to keep your tool at optimal levels of functioning. So, okay, great. There are physical benefits, but what we're really interested and fascinated with and really want to put at the forefront is the benefit yoga has for the brain and for the nervous system. Through the breath work, like we mentioned, you can access your nervous system, and then you can put your hands on all these levers. You can change brain waves. You can change hormone levels. You can change heart rate variability. Heart rate variability isn't just BPM, beats per minute. It's actually the space between heartbeats. And that is determining your level of coherence. Your level of coherence is how your systems are working together. This is going to be important for dispatchers, because if you are not in coherence, and by the way, you cannot be physically activated, meaning I'm not running, I'm not sprinting, but your nervous system, you're emotionally activated because of the situation, which can also put you out of coherence. When you are not in a coherent state and your systems aren't working together, you can get stuck. Let's say you get stuck in an activated state. Your brain is not going to be functioning correctly. You're going to be working from the amygdala. You're not going to be able to see things or interpret things correctly. When we're under stress and our systems are not communicating together, our brain isn't working. We are not reading things. We might read things backwards. We might swear we're seeing black, but it's actually red. I mean, things kind of get haywire. So what yoga is proven to train is increasing coherence measured by heart rate variability. So by having a consistent yoga practice, you are training your system to communicate and to work together. So you can, what essentially it is you can be in high stress and still functional. So I want to make sure that everyone's clear that we are not just teaching the down regulation, the recovery after action. We're actually teaching how to do your job in activation in a way that you are in coherence and in control. They're the flip side of the same coin. You can't properly recover if you don't know how to properly be in stress. We're not taking stress away. The yoga teacher is not here to take your stress away. Sorry about it, but we're not. We're actually here to give you some stress so you know how to make stress your friend and use stress as a tool in your tool belt, and then turn it off when you turn it off, go home to be with your family and feel good. They're flip side of the same coin. So the physical aspect is the vehicle to get there, and the breath is our little portal inside. But the benefits we're really concerned about are how your brain is working, how your nervous system is working, and your body is simply going to be a reflection of how your brain and nervous system are functioning. Because everything you go through, man, like you're talking about neck and stuff, when you're feeling aches and pains in the body, it's primarily in the connective tissue. It might feel like a muscle, it might feel like a joint, but the connective tissue is within the muscle and surrounding the joint. So it's typically connective tissue, and connective tissue is typically hurting or injured or whatever because of stress. Except for a blunt force trauma to the body, it is typically stress that's causing those aches and pains. So when you want to go get a massage, it's going to put a Band-Aid on something, but it's not going to get to the source of the problem. So the physical aspect of yoga is simply an expression of the true work that we're doing.
Damn. and I know, yeah, exactly. So everyone who is watching this right now, how many of you are dealing with that? How many of you are dealing with it? I want to see it in the comments. How many of you are dealing with issues like that and just thinking, man, I need a massage, or let me get an ibuprofen or something. I'm just having some aches and pains or whatever. Every time we talk, I flash back to when I was in dispatch. And as you're saying all of this, I'm thinking, shit, I remember sitting there in between calls or even during calls and, going like this, or just having some sort of ache or pain that seemed to stretch up into the temple. And I'm just, just kind of sitting there, as everything is going on, and just trying to figure out like, how can I fight this? Like, what is it exactly that is going on? And stress is just being a dick. And I just wasn't, I didn't know, leading up all to that time that I finally started, really getting into all of this. I didn't know. And that's why I love these conversations.
And that's the key, Ricardo. You didn't know because we did this on Dare to Be Great on the last one, I believe it was, where we put that poll out during my presentation.
Mm-hmm.
And the poll was I ask it every time I'm on, and people are probably getting to know my system here, but I would love for people to respond here too. How much of your job is mental? How much of it requires that mental, emotional energy and focus? And I'm sure the responses we'll get in a moment are going to be very similar to what that poll showed, which I'll reveal in a moment. And then the second question to follow that is, how much training did you get for that aspect of your job? So percentage-wise. And this will show why you didn't know. And why no one knows. And that is what our job is to show, hey, here's a lifeline for you.
Yeah, we didn't have any training like that. All of the training that we went to was all procedural stuff. Based on all the calls that we were getting, how to handle, suicidal callers, domestic violence, active shooter, like all of this stuff, which is stuff that we need. But really, we weren't really paying attention to the mental health and wellness. It was just you're here, you're taking the calls, you're moving to the next one, and you go on and you go on. And then we finally, a lot of us started really talking to each other. I was like, so how are you really feeling? Like, how are things going? Because I feel like shit. So it's not just because I'm tired and I've been working all these hours. Like there's more that's going on here, a lot more.
Yeah, and I'm seeing this response too, and so that's exactly what we get. I get the same exact response no matter which branch of public safety I'm talking to, which is about 90% of this job is mental. The rest is the tactical, procedural, and we got less than 10% training for that aspect. So therein lies the issue.
Man. Brenna, what about you? What have you, in your experience, with everything that you've been doing, like what are some, have you been seeing, a lot of the same things that Olivia is saying as well? I'm sure you have, conversations with different people, maybe dispatchers that you've met, and how, they didn't have the training before, or how they felt. And now, maybe they're feeling better after doing all of this and really, digging deep into taking care of themselves.
Yeah. Reflecting back to when I said I was in the instructor school for Iowa Army and Air National Guard as a squad leader, I was talking to some of the trainees in my group. One was in artillery, the other one was reservist who was EMT, and then Army medic. And they were both reflecting on, someone literally was like, if I just had this 6 months earlier, like no one teaches this when you come into it. One of them was very young, maybe she was like 23, 22. And most of the time it's maybe there's one slide about it, or, one day where they briefly mention, hey, take care of yourself, but they don't say how, they don't say what to do, or they don't show you how to do it. And that was one of the biggest testimonials I actually pulled out of our last instructor school was, I believe he was a sergeant, was saying they have mental health now, like in the National Guard, where they have like these PowerPoints of like, yeah, take care of yourself, but they don't show you how to do it. And the fact that we went there in our instructor school and we said, okay, this is in a PowerPoint what we're going to do, but then we showed them how to do it, not just read off a definition of self-care. That's the difference between, a PowerPoint you can Google search on how to take care of yourself and actually doing a yoga for first responders training, is that we show you how to do it.
And I bet that slide is probably like postcard like of a beach and palm trees. Is I don't know why. That's what I picture in my head.
You know my pet peeves, Ricardo. You know how to press my button, because that is the most annoying thing to me on the universe, is the yoga slides with the beach or whatever, because that's sending a subconscious message that if you don't have this scene, you can't take care of yourself. And even if it's subconscious, it's like, that's why we do all our classes at departments, at agencies, on bases, is because we're trying to send the subliminal message that this is where yoga happens. And sometimes there's that mistake, like, oh, well, should we go to a yoga studio and do it? Why? You got a big old gym right here, or you've got that corner office right there. That's where we're going to do it. Yeah, because we don't all have sunsets and beaches readily available.
Right, exactly.
One day, but
that's why I say, when I see slides like that, or just the way you were talking, Brenna, that's what I imagine is when there's a slide or someone saying, make sure to take care of yourself, make sure to take time for yourself, and just leave it like blanket style, generalize it. But it's basically a slide that says, or that shows, a beach and palm trees. It's like, make sure to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Which I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that, man. Take a vacation, shit. Do that. All I'm saying is that sometimes it's used as a blanket response to how to take care of oneself. But there's so many other ways. There's so many other things. It's just like, for example, meditation. One of the coolest moments I had was on a beach in San Diego when I did that. But I mean, and I had practiced a lot before doing meditation. That one was it was an awesome experience, but also, I mean, I used to meditate in between phone calls because I would take some crazy calls, and I would have just a few moments to be able to just kind of sit there and just try to gain myself back, for that moment. So even in dispatch, I was able to do it, or in any place, it can happen. You just got to get into it. You got to want to do it.
And I think one of the biggest things, like when you talk about like the slide that says take care of yourself, is yes, they'll say, go on vacation or have a night out and go out with your spouse. And those are all great ways to like take a break, but they don't fix anything from when you left the job and come back to the job, and you still have those stressors. Taking care of yourself, I think I got quoted on this like a couple months ago, where I said like meditation, or we call it neurological reset, is push-ups for your brain. You go to the gym and you do all this working out to take care of your body, like your physical body, but what are you doing to actually take care of your brain and your nervous system? And that's what we mean by take care of yourself. We don't mean go to the beach and then come back to the same stress you had and nothing changed. Mm-hmm. Or, go out to eat and now nothing's changed. You still have those stressors. You didn't change anything. To actually take care of yourself and have self-care is to actually put change into bettering your brain and your nervous system.
You have segued into the next question that I was going to put out there. This was great. That was excellent. And you make perfect sense as well. The question that I put out there on social media about an hour or so before we came on here to do this round was, when it comes to taking care of you, what do you do? So those who are watching right now, and those who end up watching the replay as well, what is it that you do? What are some of the things that you do? Because there were many actually responses that were sent in, and I'm going to read some of these here in a moment. But I want to start with the three of you, and see, from everything that you do, but also other things as well. What do you do to take care of you? What do you really get into? So whoever wants to start.
I'll start. Of course. No, I have several things, and it's definitely evolved. I love what I do. I love my organization, and I worked so hard on it that a couple of years ago, I hit burnout and I just couldn't go on anymore. And so I've been very, very careful on how I approach things now, because I don't want to do that again. Because as we all know, if someone burns out, or, as I always say, what's the use of your tactical skills or procedural, information if you're not actually out there using it, right? So first step is make sure that you remain in your job and your work. So for me, several things, including moving my body. So yoga is where that would come in. My yoga, my mindfulness, and listen, yoga, meditation, mindfulness can look like different things. It doesn't always look like a yoga mat. I mean, when I might take a walk and I do what I call gratitude walks, where I just list things I'm grateful for as I'm walking my dog. That is a form of meditation. A meditation is simply mind training, and you have to have an object of meditation. So maybe it's walking and doing a gratitude list, journaling, reading. That's also a type of yoga that can be practiced as well, called jnana yoga, where you are studying, and so there are many different ways of practicing yoga. So beyond that, I have to know what fills me up, and what fills me up is taking a bath, being in water, right? That being outside, making sure I have days off, and I know when I'm saying my day is done. That's really worked for me. Time blocking really works for me as well. So for me, what it is making sure that I've created boundaries between work and home, created boundaries with people in my life, even people that I love, but you just need to set boundaries even with your own children. I don't have children yet, but I'm planning on it. And I even, this is going to sound silly, but my dog likes to come into my room when I'm practicing yoga, but she doesn't let me practice yoga. She does all, she's sniffing to my face and everything like most dogs, right? But I love her so much that I'm going to have her here in my office to do yoga with me because I love her and she loves to be with me. Well, I had to set a boundary that if I'm really going to do my practice effectively, she can't be in the room with me. So that's just kind of this example that I'm trying already to model for my future children, what it means to self-prioritize. I like to change that phrase self-care to self-prioritize. It is okay, everyone in the world that's listening, to put yourself first. It does not mean you're selfish. In fact, if you put yourself first, you are going to be better to show up for everyone else. And I think in our Western culture, we have this idea that anything that makes you feel good or prioritizes your own happiness means that you're selfish or you don't love your family or your friends. So I think that's the mindset, is what's going to fill me up, what's going to make me feel like I have a high self-worth. And that might have to change every day, but the staples for me are time blocking, making sure I move my body, making sure I breathe some fresh air, and continue to learn better ways to self-prioritize.
I like that a lot, the self-prioritize, because a lot, like you said, a lot of people are like that, and just coming from the dispatch world, as well, we're always doing for others, and we don't ever pay attention to us. And I can say that because I was there, I lived it, and I did not pay attention to a lot of things that were going on with me until I was ready towards the end of my dispatch career. But man, I remember I ended up in the hospital once. I ended up going to the ER. I was having heart palpitations and just all kinds of craziness that was going on. And I remember when I was done with all the testing and everything, they said, you're just like stressed out, man. Like your heart's good, everything else is fine. I was like, oh, really? Like, this is like crazy. Like, I've never felt this stuff before. So, a few days later, I go to meet with my with my doctor, my family doctor, and he said the same thing. He's like, you're stressed out. You need to find out how to not be so stressed at work. And I said, do you have any idea what I do for a living? And he goes, well, no. What do you do? And I told him, and he goes, well, yeah, I guess you really can't do much for that, right? And I said, well, there's got to be something. And during that time, though, I was still learning. I was still trying to figure out what the hell was going on, what I could do to kind of just to help heal whatever was wrong. Because I always felt like I had some sort of ache or pain, or that I was injured somehow. But I hadn't done anything, physically, like I hadn't fallen, I didn't have an accident or anything like that, but something was going on. And just, listening to you talk, the three of you talking about how, stress can really do all of this. It's like, damn, again, wish I would have known a lot of that before.
I want to call out Edie here too, because she said moving her body through dance.
Mm-hmm.
And, that is a kind of practice of yoga too. And I'm a former professional dancer. And so moving my body like that through dancing is also a way that I practice my own yoga. So I just love these things that are popping in here. All these different ways that for me, I'm like, that's your yoga, cycling can be a form of yoga too.
Excellent. Brenna, how about you? When it comes to taking care of you, what do you do?
So my biggest thing is I love forms of exercise. I just say forms of exercise because I'm really not that picky as long as I get myself moving. It could be hiking, it could be weightlifting, it could be yoga, it can be gymnastics. Honestly, it's more so the intention behind the practice, which is what Olivia was saying with, cycling can be your yoga. Because my intention behind my weightlifting practice, I'm making sure my posture is good, my breathing is in check. It's the same things you do when you do yoga, except there's external weight added. So it's the intention behind the practice. So exercise is my number one. If I don't exercise for the day, it's like someone else not getting their coffee. Like I need to work out, or I just don't function properly. So, and then I would also say I really need to, I fill my cup through creative outlets. So whether that be painting something, or I just got a new home, so I'm doing a lot of like woodworking projects that are really fun, and I enjoy that type of outlet. Or even like just making a little bookshelf or something just to let my creative, juices flow. I really do. And that's how I fill my cup, is doing something fun and creative, whether it's, doing it with my nieces and nephews and like finger painting or whatever that may be. But I do that's how I like to fill my cup back up.
I'm right there with you with the creative stuff and doing projects and all other types of things. Like I do all of those shirts and everything for the podcast, but it makes me sound like a nerd. I'm nerding out a little bit, but the process of the creation, like putting a design together and then going through the entire process of it, and then standing over there with the flash dryer on and screen printing and everything, it's relaxing. Like learning how to do it was a pain in the ass, and I'm still learning a lot of stuff, but even though it was a pain in the ass, that knowing what the end result was going to be, that I was learning something, it was very satisfying and relaxing at the same time, and almost therapeutic. So that I'm right there with you with the creative stuff, that and making those videos like with my daughters and stuff where we're singing. So that's a lot of fun as well.
I love those. I'm a big fan of those.
Yes. Awesome. What about you, Eric?
Yeah, I hate to say that maybe I fall into the prototypical first responder trap that we take better care of others than we do of ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
But what I the way I have learned, quite frankly, to find my outlet and to put myself in a better spot. First and foremost, I am a firm believer in the breath work. That's why I sell it every day to the people that don't believe in it, to start with. I too actually enjoy creative outlets. Olivia and I started a candle company. And so just like you, seeing that concept throughout, I mean, building candles is a cathartic process between melting the wax, changing the fragrance oils, letting it cool down, melting them back off so they look pretty. It's a cathartic process. And then learning and exploring. And I think this is critical for, again, people in public safety, is to find an outlet outside of public safety, because you are more than public safety. And so that is whether it's learning about breath work, or learning to make the t-shirts, or learning to do candles, or learning weightlifting or dance. As Edie said, there has to be something outside of public safety to ground you. And so whatever that is, I just encourage continuing to learn and explore the world, because when you come at it with a childlike mind, it's an interesting and fascinating place.
That's excellent. I want to share this here. Jennifer says what she started practicing here was a yoga tai chi like practice, and she goes she loves it, and her back pain is much better. That's another thing too, is when I was doing a lot of yoga and discovering some of the issues that I was having, but also, kind of centering myself with being able to figure out the stress part of it. But, a lot of the stretching, the breath work, all of it was really, it was awesome to be able to find a solution to some of those pains that I was having that I had no idea what was causing it. And there was another thing here that someone had posted. I will say this one right away. A couple people said spending time watching movies with family was a way that they take care of themselves. But a good friend of mine said nachos. So I'm all about that, nachos.
We love some nachos.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's a good point to make too, is that if you do yoga, does not mean you cannot enjoy a plate of nachos, a massage, and a vacation, right? Just and some yoga.
There you go. Another one here. So this one, I saw it right before we went live here, and I made sure to put this in here because it says, I am just headed into my 30th year as a dispatcher, and self-care was completely foreign concept for most of my career. I think the unofficial mantra for most dispatchers is suck it up, buttercup. But I finally realized that although the job kills us, in parentheses, we all know that, it was my choice at how I was going to take on that daily little death. I have always loved to read. I know walking makes me feel so much better, but I am not always consistent, and my faith has always played a huge role in my life, but I needed more. I started doing yoga and switched up my diet big time, adding in specific supplements, and wow, I haven't felt this calm and, dare I say, happy in years.
I love that.
Yeah, that's phenomenal, and that's the power of what we're teaching and what we're sharing with people. And we're so lucky that some people do find it on their own, but let's also be honest, so many people in public safety do not find this tool because they don't think it's for them. We heard the same thing last week with the military. They were the lieutenant colonel of the Iowa Army National Guard. He's in command of the entire Army National Guard. Was told by one of his soldiers that learning about yoga and breath work was literally a life-changing experience. And so, I mean, that's the power of what we're doing here, and why it's no joke. And I'm excited that you keep bringing us on and letting us share this with dispatchers, because it is critical for our long-term survivability, quite frankly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. A lot of people that I know, have gone through a lot of crap as well. And some of them did make it all the way through, for their up into retirement and everything. But, others, they ended up going on to do other things, just like myself. Excuse me. But, having known some of this, I mean, shit, I might have been in there much longer as well. But it is always good to have this, because it helps in so many ways. Now, I want to go into talking about the 108 challenge as well, as we're getting towards the end of this round, which has been a phenomenal round. Thank you again, all three of you, for being on. So whoever would like to start, what is this challenge all about? There have been posts that have been going out since May 24th. It launched then. There's videos of myself doing different things. I think there's 3 of them out there now. And I want to get this information out there, because I want everyone, the audience who tunes into not only open mic, but within the trenches, all of it throughout the network, to really understand what the challenge is, and the fundraising part of it. What is the 108 part, and how we can all work together to do this, whether it be individually or building a team. How does this work? What is this all about?
So the 108 challenge, this is our second annual 108 challenge. And this year we are partnering with In the Trenches. So we're 911 108 challenge.
Mm-hmm.
I try to explain it to people as a virtual 5K fundraiser. So you make a team, you get people to pledge to it, you commit to your length of, the race, and you raise money for the cause that you're giving to. Except we're not going to make you run. You don't even have to stand up if you don't want to. You can sit in your chair the whole time. So the 108 challenge, I'll let Olivia touch back onto why 108 specifically after I explain the fundraising aspect of it. But we are gathering together to raise funds for this year specifically 300 first responders and military personnel. And with that, we can provide them our on-demand platform, Cyber Academy, which can provide them tools to build resilience, enhance performance, and process stress, which literally puts it in the palm of their hands. Like, they don't have to come to our classes. They don't have to go to instructor school. Like, it is on their phone or on their TV or wherever they are. They can literally listen to it on an audio while they're in the chair, as a dispatcher between calls. So we are raising funds, $16,000 in total, and that gets 300 first responders and military that tool. The 108 challenge comes into play on International Yoga Day, where we're asking you, instead of running a virtual 5K, you're doing 108 of whatever you want it to be. So you can do 108 air squats. You can bake 108 cookies and bring it to, a fire department nearby. You can do 108 3-part breaths, which we posted videos this year of ideas for people to take the 108 challenge and do the 108 challenge and make it their own, which is where your videos came into play. So if you aren't sure what to do, or if you want to dabble in the yoga for first responder practice, but aren't too familiar with it yet, we're posting 2 videos a week. They're under a minute each, and they're going to be posted for 4 weeks, and they're of Ricardo doing yoga for first responders, and it's just 1 or 2 movements. And it gives you ideas for your 108. So I believe the one we just posted was the neck stretching, where he was just taking his neck side to side. We started with a 3-part breath, which is just teaching you how to breathe the right way. So we let you pick the 108 though. For me, I might do, 108 squats. With that, we will be at our second instructor school in Iowa for the National Guard, and we're going to actually have them participate in it, where we're going to talk them all into doing a 108-second plank and holding it for when we go live together on International Yoga Day, which I believe is noon Eastern time. So that's what we're saying. That's what we are. I get really excited and then my words just become dumb. That's what we are fundraising for. We're fundraising for 300 first responders and military personnel to give them the tools to process stress, enhance performance, and build resilience. With that, if you decide to create a team or commit to do the 108 challenge and make a pledge and all of that, you also get some pretty cool things. So I'm actually wearing my 108 t-shirt from last year. It has a nice little, I'll show them Ricardo. It says 108 challenge on the back. So if you raise just $108, which gives 1 first responder Cyber Academy for a year, a whole year, you just saved 1 first responder and gave them the tools they needed that they don't have. You get a cool t-shirt. And then from there, you can get, with $108, you can be in the live video that we do on International Yoga Day on June 21st. For $500 of fundraising between you and your team, you can get a swag bag if you're, the fundraiser for that, which is going to be Within the Trenches and 911 Wonder Woman with Sarah Weston, who I saw her in the comments before. Sarah, there's your little shout out. Which is just a swag bag of fun jelly bands and stickers and all of that. Face masks, I think we got some in there, and so on and so forth. So if you go on the landing pages, you can see all of the awesome prizes. If you're having trouble fundraising, but you really want to still get entered to win some of those prizes, if you just do one of your 108, breath work, squats, whatever you're doing, and you hashtag 911-108 on any of the social media pages, you'll automatically be entered to win. So that's another way to get the cool prizes as well. And why 108? I'm going to hand it over to the Olivia, who has a little bit more of the background in it, so she can give the why.
Well, first, on June 21st at noon Eastern, I'm going to be doing 108 shots of tequila. So that's just kidding, or am I? But anyway, so 108 of your choice. So with YFFR, as we said, we try to keep it job specific and culturally informed. And so one of the things we do is we take out some of, we take out the Sanskrit and we take out some other things that are part of yoga that might inadvertently be isolating to people we're trying to introduce it to. So such as doing this and saying namaste. Some people might feel that's ridiculous. They might feel it's praying, which it's not. So what we do is we take it out because we can get to the point of those things another way. But there are a couple times, because we are rooted in traditional yoga, so there are a couple times you will see a hidden nod, a hidden wink to our traditional lineage. One of those ways is beans. I call Brenna beans. Show your shield on your shirt. So you see how she has an Om symbol in the middle. That's the only Sanskrit you're going to see in YFFR. Again, nothing against Sanskrit. We're just trying to figure out ways to make it more accessible. And the other nod, one of the other nods you'll see is the 108 and the 108 challenge. In that Eastern Vedic culture, so yoga is from the Vedic sciences. And in that Vedic sciences, 108, actually 9, is a sacred number. You will see a lot of things in nature in the multiples of 9, especially 108. And there are several examples of that as well. And so it's kind of considered 108 is considered auspicious number. So for chanting, if you were to chant a mantra over and over again, they want you to chant it 108 times or in multiples of 9. So that's our little nod and why we are having everyone do their selected item 108 times and trying to raise at least $108 each. So there you
Excellent. Go. This is good because I wanted to make sure that having all of you on here, that you were able to explain the challenge and everything, and how everybody can get involved. Now you're talking about building teams, so I might have to build a team, a Within the Trenches team, or an I Am 911 team as well.
I think you should do the 911 team. Yeah.
So for those who are watching, if you would like to join, there's an open invitation. And I'll put it out there as well later on that we're starting a team for this challenge as well, so we can fundraise and everything. I was trying to think about what 108 I would do, and that plank, the plank sounds pretty good. Like I want to try that.
Yeah, join us. So again, join those soldiers and airmen. We're going to be in 100 seconds in planks. You can definitely do that with us, and it would be cool if your whole team did it. But I mean, how rad would that be? And what a change in this world if we had a shitload of dispatchers doing 108 of something for the purposes of yoga. I mean, this has not been seen before. I mean, we have a bunch of yoga people doing it, but let's move the culture to public safety and to first responders doing this as more of a normalized practice. And so I definitely want to see that Within the Trenches team, 911 team, kicking some butt.
It'll be fun. I used to have an app. I don't even remember what it's called now, but it was an app where you would start so many seconds. Like you would do, I don't know, 30 seconds for the first 3 days, and then you up it and up it and up it. I don't remember how far I got, but I might have to do that for some training.
You know what happened last year at our first 108 challenge is Eric got in full bunker gear and blast mask and did 108 sun salutations.
Damn. How much were you sweating after that?
It took a talk about mental exercise because it was very, very interesting to see how the body and the mind works, because that's 108 push-ups also in full bunker gear at some point, which I can't do 108 push-ups on a random day, but for some reason during that yoga class, 108 push-ups got done. And I'll be honest, my mind did go to a dark spot a little bit, but it took what we teach people to do to come back out of it and to just stay focused on the task at hand, the mission at hand. And it was actually a lot of fun and a good, I guess, proving ground for myself, both mentally, physically, and emotionally. But it was a lot of fun.
That's amazing, man. Oh, this is going to be good. I'm excited. I'm so glad that the three of you were able to come on and just talk about all of this, the benefits of yoga, especially in dispatch, and, all of us talking about what we do for ourselves, when we want to care for ourselves. And then, of course, the 108 challenge, what it means, what to do, and the videos that are coming out. Now, Eric posted the link in the comments here. So this takes you to the landing page, right? And you can sign up, and that's where you end up getting the videos as well from that.
Yes. So on the landing page, you can scroll down and you can see the free videos that have been posted so far. And you can either join a team or create a team. So everyone's open to join the YFFR or the 911 team, since you're creating one, if they don't want to create a team of their own.
Awesome. Well, this has been excellent. Again, thank you all. Those in the audience, thank you for watching. And those of you who are coming in for replay, thank you for joining us for round 20. But how can people find out more about Yoga for First Responders, social media, website, everything that you all are doing? How can people find out more?
yogaforfirstresponders.org, all spelled out. Yoga for First Responders on Instagram, on Facebook. Twitter's a little weird. What is it on Twitter, Beans? It's like, because
Yoga.
Twitter makes you do, yeah.
So it's yoga, the number 4, first, RESP. So rest. Yoga for rest.
And we wonder why nobody finds us on Twitter.
Yeah.
I didn't make it. It wasn't me.
Maybe if you search, it was me, okay? I did the best I could. But listen, if you just search for it, I'm sure it'll come up. But it's just spelled out Yoga for First Responders, the whole thing. But yeah, find us on social, find us on the website. You can also check out our app that has more videos on there too, besides the 1-minute Ricardo videos. But yeah, share those too. Bring people on the 911 team.
All right. Excellent. Again, thank you all very much for being on. And I will be right back here with each one of you. And this is going to be a lot of fun. So I'm going to build this team. I'll put it out there, and we'll see how many people we can get on and do this 108 challenge. Again, to YFFR, thank you so much for being on. And this live broadcast has been sponsored by InDigital as well as Rapid Deploy. If you have any comments, questions, or you want to be a guest on the show, you can email us, and that is going to be wttpodcast@gmail.com. You can follow us on Twitter, that is @91podcast. You can like us on Facebook, that is facebook.com/Within the Trenches podcast. If you are looking for any bonus content, you can check us out on Patreon, that is patreon.com/WTT podcast. Once again, this has been sponsored by InDigital as well as Rapid Deploy. And for the flagship show Within the Trenches podcast, you can listen 24/7 on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, your favorite podcasting app, and withinthetrenches.net. Have a good one, everyone, and I'll see you in the next one.